There's another objection that frequently comes up in sales conversations, and it's the time objection. Stay with me and I'll give you some ideas on how you might respond to it. In many sales conversations, as we've talked about before, there are three key objections that come up: the money objection, the trust objection, and the time objection. In this video, we'll talk about time. So here's the scenario. You are selling a software implementation that the client has to purchase the software and the support and the help in getting it implemented. So they express an interest in buying it and they say, "We'd like you to start this next month." You have a queue of people already in line and you can't work with them for 2 months. How do you deal with that? Here's what I recommend that you would say. I am so glad to hear that you want to go forward with the software. I know that it is going to meet your needs and achieve these results. Go back through the results that were important to them and motivated them to make this decision, because you want to affirm once again with them that they need these results in order to move their business forward. Once they affirm that, then you share with them the timeline. I appreciate that you would like to get this done next month. We currently have 3 customers that have already chosen to go forward with this software in the recent past, and they're in line ahead of you. The soonest that we can have a team mobilized and ready to support you with the implementation would be in 60 days. Now, I understand that that doesn't necessarily meet your timeline, but I think when you consider the years of use of the software and the results that are going to accumulate over time and really help you to meet your objectives for company growth, it's worth the wait. Now, if they respond back saying, "Gee, really? Do we really have to wait 60 days? Is there anything you can do to get it done in 30? Then you have 2 options. One is you come out with the rush fee. The rush fee is the ability of your client to pay an extra charge and move up in line. If you have that as an option, that's when you bring that out. You say, "Well, there is one option that I didn't mention to you because I didn't think that it was really relevant, but now it seems to be important. We do have the opportunity to accelerate the implementation for you and move you up in line, but it entails a rush fee of an extra 30%. Would you be willing to make that investment to move this up, or would you like to just go ahead and wait for the 60-day window?" So that's your first option. The second option is that there isn't anything you can do, but maybe you can get them started with a few steps on their side so that they can be more than ready once you're ready. That would go something like this. "We can't really move up the timeline based on our current expectations that we have already set with other customers that are ahead of you. If things were to go ahead of schedule, then of course I would be back in touch because I would prefer to underpromise and overdeliver on the timeline than the other way around. Something else that you can do is to actually take a few steps towards the implementation so that you're completely ready when we're ready. Would you like to get a plan that I could share with you and you could then work with your team to take those first few steps?" This will get your client motivated to continue with the purchase and then mobilize their internal team to take a few steps. Nothing that's going to really make a big difference, but it helps them to get started and get the momentum going so that they remain excited about the purchase. All right. Now, there are those situations when time is not an objection that you can overcome, as we just discussed in these scenarios, but it's actually a condition. For example, I need to have a reservation at your restaurant on Friday night for a birthday dinner. Well, we're totally booked up. Could you come on Saturday? That's a condition. I mean, the group wants to go out to celebrate a dinner on Friday night. Everybody's committed. They're not going to wait until Saturday to celebrate at the restaurant unless the restaurant is the only one that the birthday celebrant wants to eat at, in which case maybe it becomes an objection instead of a condition. If the celebrant is flexible, then it's a condition to go out on Friday night and they'll choose another restaurant. So it's up to you to decide when is it a condition and when it is an objection. Another way to find out is if they say, look, I really have to have this next Wednesday. If I don't have it next Wednesday, we're going to be in big trouble. You may come back with something like, what if I were able to take 10% off of your investment in the product? And that would require you waiting the extra few days, because remember I told you that I could do it on Friday, not Wednesday. Would the extra 10% savings make it worth your while to wait a few more days? Sometimes by giving them an incentive to wait, you may unlock their willingness to let it go from being a condition and actually express more patience than you originally thought that they were expressing. So feel willing to step into the conversation with some options to deal with the time objection. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, that oftentimes you feel like it's a condition, and it's not really. It really is an objection that you can work with, but you have to be creative and think of ways to approach the conversation differently so that you don't just take it as a condition and say, well, there's nothing I can do. Once you throw up your hands, then it signals to the prospect that looks like we're not going to do business together, and you never want that to happen. I've now shared with you in a series of videos my ways of dealing with 3 different key objections. If you have other objections that regularly come up for you, please post them in the comments. I'd be happy to respond to them in a future video and help you. If you would like to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to be notified when new videos are released, which is usually every week. If you have questions unrelated to this topic but related to sales or public speaking, you feel free to email me at michael@buildandbalance.com and I may answer them in a future video. Thank you very much for being here and look forward to seeing you again soon.